The Central Club.
When do you think Craig Bellamy was at his peak? Where was you most happy at, and where do you think you showed your most potential? Because you prefer, like, obviously Newcastle, you were still young, you were still growing.
Oh yeah, I exploded out at Newcastle because I had, like, Coventry didn't go well for me. I was a year out of my cruciate. Maybe I expected more than what I was able to do, but it wasn't a good year. I remember I went up to Newcastle, everyone was like, well, what they signed him for? You know, I was seen as a failure at Coventry, but that gave me, like,
The fuel again?
yeah. And I ended up winning PFA Young Player of the Year that year, which was huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To win PFA Young Player of the Year is like, you know, that's basically saying you're one of the best young kids in Europe.
Exactly.
So that was huge for me. But that was fueled off the anger of a poor year. Everyone thinks I'm a poor player. Yeah, we'll see now. I'll show you in a good arena. Give me good players, and I just took it, and I did. I took off,
St.
but I was
James's
angry.
Park.
Yeah, I was angry as well. Yeah, and I fueled off that. And even, you know, like, people talk about the Italy goal when I scored against Italy. When
I
we
was
went
there in the
2-1.
Millennium.
Yeah.
In the Millennium, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I set up the first one, Simon Davis. Do you know,
Simon Davis.
Do you know what I was more interested in that game? Don't know what, like, you watched me when I scored. I weren't happy. I swear. You know?
When you had the long blonde hair?
No, that was later. That was another
No, I
injury.
know, you had the big biff, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't even, honestly. But you know, I was more interested in that. I didn't get Player of the Year for Wales.
Really?
Yeah.
You 2003 when you had
Yeah,
played
Simon Davis got it. You winded me up. And I love Simon Davis. I swear, he was at Norwich with me as a
He was
young
running
kid.
down the wing for Fulham at the time, weren't he? Like,
Yeah, well, no, he's Spurs.
Spurs, sorry.
Listen, he didn't win PFA Young Player of the Year. He wasn't even in a reckoning. How can he beat me? Are you lot for real? All right, maybe journalists pick it.
But no, because you was performing in the Premiership as well. It was not just for Wales.
So I went into that game, like, pure angry of, like, how dare you? How dare you do that? You know? And then obviously went and scored, and it was basically a fuck off to all the journalists because I run by there and told them where to go. I didn't do it directly, but it was, I was, if you've noticed how insane my psyche was, you know what I mean? It was all, not worried about Buffon, not worried about Del Piero or anyone like that. It was like, I didn't win Welsh Player of the Year. You know? No, I'm going to show you this game. I'm going to show you why I should have won it.
You had a few good runs round there, didn't you? Was it Argentina you drew against in the Millennium as well?
Yeah. Scored that one. Header from a corner, God knows how. But I was in good form then. And I would say that was a really good period for me. I had patella tendon problems then, which was difficult. They were
had what, sorry?
Patella tendon problems. I had patella tendonitis in both knees.
Wow.
Which needed surgery. I had to go to America to have them done. They derailed me a little bit, but they were tough because it was really, I'm a speed player, so decelerating and turning, twisting, really took its load off me. But got to it. I had to do eccentric work like you wouldn't believe. But Blackburn, second half of the season, like, I done well at Celtic. I had a good period at Celtic. But I found that comfortable, and I don't.
What was Celtic like? We had Ledley here the other day, and he was just saying about how, like, it's more
immense.
Than a club, isn't it?
It's immense. Honestly, it's like, you know, you go to away grounds, they take over. Listen, Leds, I love Leds. I love him. And he had about 4 or 5 years there, Leds, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a hero up there, isn't he?
Well, I've done more than 6 months than that 4 or 5 years with Leds. Don't worry about that. I tell him that every single time.
What was it?
Only about 5 months.
How many goals you scored up here? You scored a few.
12.
Yes, fucking hell.
Only in about 16 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but it was, I had a good
business.
team as well, though. But I was, it was won the cup up there. Lost the league on the last day, which was nuts.
Yeah, you won the Scottish Cup.
Yeah.
Do you know what frustrates me? Well, it must frustrate you. I don't know if it does, actually, but do you feel like you underachieved in, like, trophies? I know you won some stuff with Liverpool, which is what you wanted, being a Liverpool fan, but you played for 3 of the Premier League, like 3 out of the 9. You had Man City, Liverpool, Blackburn.
Yeah,
They've all won the Premier League.
Yeah, but they weren't when I was there, you know what I mean?
No.
Man City were up and coming. Do you know, like, people do ask that, and Vinny, I used to have an argument with Vinny a bit about it. You know, he's like, "Oh, you should have had this, you should have won that." I'm telling you now, right? I wasn't good enough. Honest truth. Listen, there was your world class, your David Villas and all them. I was just underneath them. So I lost in Champions League final, UEFA Cup semi-final, FA Cup final, League Cup final, won a League Cup. I lost in I finished second, finished third in the Premier League. That's what I was. I'm telling you now, people feel like you could have done it. Oh, no, I would have been a squad player at best because they're better players. When I look at all those teams, when at every final I lost or semis I lost to the better team. Couldn't have done any more. The better team won. I never no Wickham beat me in a semi and I ended up losing. I come off the pitch and couldn't have done any more. They were different levels.